Hello and welcome to the second part of our videos for acceptance of wind energy. And Hannah, in the first video you explained all the theory behind the acceptance science, and now we are interested in how do people really think about wind power?
Yes, in order to find that out, some representative surveys were carried out, and one of the questions that were asked was due to the energy transition, the use and expansion of wind energy on land is, and the persons could reply very important, rather important, not so important, or unimportant. And in the years 2015 to 2020, approximately 80% answered that they think that it is rather important or very important.
That's really surprising, because when we see all the reports in newspapers, TV, there seems to be a really big opposition against wind power.
Yes, but there are a lot of people that support wind power. And what can be said is that the local acceptance of wind turbine project is largely shaped by the attitude to the energy transition, economic impacts, the trust in the actors involved, the burden for people and nature, and the social norm. And what can also be said is once a local wind energy plant is planned, people often position themselves for or against wind energy plants.
So resistance starts when they really want to plan a wind turbine close to their homes?
Yeah, that often happens. Another interesting question of one of the surveys was people who live in close by a wind energy plant were asked if they accept the wind energy plant in their living area. So in the years 2017 to 2020, about 80% said that they fully or rather agree to the wind energy plant next to their homes. And in a second step, people who do not live close to wind energy plants were asked the same questions if they would have considerations against wind turbines in their neighborhood. And about 70% that they would have no or less large concerns about wind energy plants in their neighborhood. And the rest said that they would have concerns. So what we can see as a result is that the local population's experience with wind farms is an acceptance factor. If people have wind energy plants in their local area, 80% agree to this. And if they do not have wind energy plants in their local area, 70%, only 70% would agree with wind energy.
So we also could summarize it's a bit the fear of the unknown. So as soon as the wind turbines are there, their position towards wind power is becoming better.
Yes, that's the case. And there was another interesting question. So people were asked, people who live close to wind energy plants were asked, what do you think? How many people of your community are against wind energy? And also people who do not live close to wind energy plants were asked, what do you think? How many people in your community would position against wind energy? And with wind energy in the neighborhood, people said that they think that 40% of their community is against wind energy. Without wind energy in their local area, people said that they think that 54% are against wind energy. But if we compare this to the actual values, we see that in the case with wind energy, only 16% are against wind energy. And in the case without wind energy in the local area, only 26% are against wind energy. So what we can see is that the share of the local critical population is clearly overestimated. And here we want to have a look at the willingness to demonstrate. Therefore, people were asked if they would demonstrate against or for wind energy plant if it would be planned in the local area. And 73% said that they would demonstrate for or against a wind energy plant. And the rest said that they would not demonstrate. And of these 37% who would demonstrate, 12% would demonstrate against a local wind energy plant, and the rest, 25%, would demonstrate for the energy transition, even if a local plant would be constructed in their neighborhood. And the people who would not demonstrate can be also divided into two groups. In the ones with passive advocacy, who support wind energy but would not demonstrate, and the ones with passive rejection, who are against wind energy but also would not demonstrate. So we can divide the population into three groups. First of one, the loud minority, 12%, who would demonstrate actively against local wind energy plants, 25% the energy transition activists, who would demonstrate for the energy transition even if local wind energy plants are constructed. And the biggest part is the so-called silent majority, who would not say its opinion or demonstrate for or against wind energy plants.
That looks much better than I supposed that it would be. So finally, in the last video on the acceptance of wind turbines, we will have a look on the arguments of the opponents of wind turbines. Thank you very much.